Financial literacy. It sounds boring, right? But what if I told you that 67% of Americans can't pass a basic financial literacy test, yet we're expected to make complex money decisions every day?
Those numbers are actually terrifying when you think about how much our financial decisions impact our lives.
And here's what's really fascinating: we're seeing this complete revolution in how financial education is being delivered. The old model of dry lectures and complicated spreadsheets, that's being transformed into something actually engaging and practical.
Hmm. Tell me more about what's changing. How are these new approaches different?
Well, imagine learning about compound interest through a real world example of how your morning coffee habit could turn into $100,000 over 30 years. That's the kind of practical, relatable content we're seeing now.
That's so different from the traditional approach where they just throw formulas at you and expect you to figure it out.
Exactly. And what's really exciting is how these new programs are using behavioral psychology. Studies show that people are 42% more likely to stick to financial goals when they understand the emotional aspects of money management.
You know what's interesting about that? It reminds me of how weight loss programs evolved, from just counting calories to understanding emotional eating and lifestyle factors.
That's such a good comparison. And just like with health, we're seeing these financial education programs create communities where people can learn and support each other. The data shows that people who learn in groups are 3 times more likely to achieve their financial goals.
So, how are they making sure this education reaches everyone, not just people who already have access to financial resources?
Well, that's where technology comes in. These programs are using multiple formats: podcasts, short videos, social media to reach people where they are. And get this, mobile learning has increased financial literacy rates by 31% in underserved communities.
Those numbers are really encouraging. It seems like we're finally breaking down those barriers that kept financial education exclusive to certain groups.
Right. And here's something that might surprise you. Studies show that just 10 minutes of financial education per day can increase someone's likelihood of starting an emergency fund by 40%.
That's incredible. It really shows how small steps can lead to big changes.
And what's particularly fascinating is how these programs are adapting to modern financial challenges. They're covering things like cryptocurrency, digital banking, and the gig economy, topics that weren't even on the radar a decade ago.
Well, that makes sense given how quickly the financial landscape is changing. I mean, who would have thought we'd need to understand blockchain technology to make informed investment decisions?
Exactly. And here's another interesting stat: millennials who participate in these modern financial education programs are 75% more likely to start investing compared to those who don't.
That could have huge implications for reducing the wealth gap over time.
Absolutely right. And speaking of long term impact, research shows that financially literate individuals are 60% more likely to have adequate retirement savings and 40% less likely to use high interest payday loans.
Those numbers really drive home why this matters beyond just individual success.
And you know what's really powerful? These programs are creating ripple effects in communities. When one person becomes financially literate, they typically share that knowledge with an average of 4 other people.
So it's like we're creating this network effect of financial education.
Precisely. And as we wrap up today's discussion, here's something to think about. Studies predict that by 2025, accessible financial education could help reduce household debt by up to 20% in participating communities.
That's such a powerful reminder of why making financial education more accessible matters so much.
Well, that brings us to the end of our time today. Remember, financial literacy isn't just about understanding money, It's about creating opportunities for better lives.
And it's never too late to start learning. Every step toward better financial understanding is a step toward a more secure future.